You're watching The Explosive Exclusive with me, Rahul Shivshankar. Viewers, there comes a time in the course of a story where the visuals speak 1,000 words. What have we been told so far about the Vignesh case? We have been told, viewers, that Vignesh did not die because he was beaten by the police. We were told this with lots of conviction, that he was arrested because he was a rowdy, a history sheeter. His parents are lying. His family is lying. That the police has done its job. And it is now being targeted as part of a larger conspiracy to extort, to defame. Viewers, the administration of the state of Tamil Nadu came out and said exactly this, that an attempt is being made to discredit using the family as political grist. Viewers, look how the lies have crumbled. And Chief Minister DMK Stalin must watch this. Undeniable proof of police manhandling Vignesh, who died following alleged assault in police custody. If this is how they were treating him in open, viewers, imagine what they did to him behind the walls, the four walls that he was held within. Now, viewers, yes, he may have been a criminal, he might have committed a crime, he might have been wanted, but every human being in this country deserves justice. The response of the state cannot be disproportionate to the gravity of the crime. But this is what it appears to be today, viewers. Times Now's accessed CCTV footage from the intervening night of April 18th and 19th that shows what happened on that fateful night. The video shows Vignesh running from the police to save his dear life. He stumbles on the road, and within seconds, the police swoop down on him, take hold of him, and drag him back while roughing him up along the way. It's all very clearly visible, viewers. It's clearly visible. This puts serious question marks on the police version that they never assaulted Vignesh. It's the latest in a series of exposés by Times Now's SIT team to bring out the truth of what happened that night. First, the police, as I told you, claimed Vignesh was never ill-treated. This CCTV footage presents a starkly different picture. Then the police claimed that Vignesh had previous injuries, prior injuries. Well, now we know how they got prior injuries, viewers. Times has also accessed the post-mortem report that clearly mentions Vignesh had fresh injuries on his body. There were more than 10 internal wounds inflicted with blunt trauma. I'm quoting the post-mortem. Not just the post-mortem report, but an eyewitness Times Now tracked down also confirmed the same. Now, before I bring you more of this, viewers, I want to go straight across to Shilpa, who's broken this story. Shilpa, you have been doing a stellar job in bringing out the truth against very tall odds. What does this CCTV footage tell us? How does it speak to us?
Well, Rahul, this CCTV footage is clearly, it shows just one portion of what happened on that fateful night, the intervening night of April 18th and April 19th. That was when Vignesh and his friend Suresh was, while they were traveling in an auto rickshaw, they were stopped during a routine vehicle check at Kelly's Junction in Chennai, and this CCTV footage is from that particular location, which clearly shows how Vignesh is trying to run away from the cops and he falls down And once he gets up, he's being beaten by the cops using some kind of a stick. We do not know what exactly that material is. But clearly from the CCTV visuals, we can see how the cops are hitting him while he's trying to escape from the cops. And this is just one portion or one small clip of what happened from that night. And if we go by what the eyewitnesses have told us, that too exclusively to Times Now, and also the family members, this continued for hours together, because the key eyewitness in the case, the auto rickshaw driver Prabhu, who ferried Vignesh and Suresh, he has spoken to Times Now, and he of course said that Vignesh was beaten for several hours using pipes and wooden logs, and even though blood came out of his mouth, he was never taken to a hospital. He was taken to the station instead. And the Prabhu of course said that this beating continued for at least 2 hours at Kelly's Junction, and this is one of the main junctions, one busy junction in Chennai. So imagine this happened in a road. So what could have happened inside the four walls of a police station? It's very, very, difficult to even think of what could have happened. But the family members also, we've managed to speak to the brothers of Vignesh. Already they had made allegations that the cops tried to pay them rupees 1 lakh indirectly through an ex-employer of Vignesh to hush up this entire matter. And even after that, the family members says they were approached by the police once again, saying that they would pay up to 10 lakh rupees so that the family members should keep quiet and do not escalate this entire issue. And the family members also say that one of the inspectors named Mohan Das, he allegedly told them that yes, your brother died due to police brutality. What can you do about it? These were the words that this particular inspector allegedly used to the family members. So this goes on to show the sheer arrogance and callousness from the side of the Chennai police. And from day one, there's been an attempt to cover up. Look at the statement that the Chennai police put out on day one. The tone of that press statement itself was written in such a way that they wanted to discredit Vignesh. They wanted to portray Vignesh as a criminal. They said when we arrested Vignesh, he was in possession of ganja, 50 grams ganja. He had alcohol bottles. He had a knife with him. He already had wounds on his body. The replies that he gave were not satisfactory. So all of this was written in such a way that they wanted to discredit Vignesh even before one could dig deeper into this issue. But what the key eyewitnesses told Times Now is that there were no bruises on Vignesh's body. He was perfectly fine until he was taken to the police custody.
Yes.
And he has also said that he was beaten for hours. So there are several mounting evidences to show that Vignesh was a victim of alleged police brutality. But the question is, what is stopping the DMK government from taking action, strict action? Because so far only 3 cops have been suspended.
Shilpa, I'll come to that part. Let's, you've been talking about this witness. Now the witness, viewers, it's his word versus that of the police. The police right now have suffered a crisis of credibility. Why? Because they said they never, in any way, brutalized Vignesh. What do we see on the camera? Already, the police are looking the less credible of the two in this. Now, first listen to the eyewitness, and then I'll go back to Shilpa and ask her why no action has been instituted, and if so, what kind of action has been instituted. Is it action that tends towards leniency? First, the eyewitness who spoke to us, viewers.
Police மடக்குனாங்க எங்கே போயிட்டு வரீங்க நாங்கள் சார் நான் ரிட்டர்ன் வந்திருந்தேன் இவங்க ஜிஹெச் போகிறேன்னாங்க அதனால் ஏற்றிட்டு வந்திருந்தேன் சரி 2 பேர் கீழே இறங்க 3 பேர் இறங்கினேன் என் அட்ரஸ்லாம் வாங்கினாங்க என்னை உரமாக நிப்பாட்டாங்க இந்த 2 பசங்களும் உட்கார வச்சு செக் பண்ணாங்க மாஸ்க்கை கைட்டுன்னு ஃபோட்டோ பிடிச்சோன்னா இவர் ரமேஷ்னாரு அவர் பேர் சுரேஷ்னு வந்தது அதனால அவர் அடிச்சாங்க அடிச்சு அவர் உட்கார வச்சோன்னா இந்த தம்பியை இன்னொரு தம்பியை போட்டு விக்னேஷ் 3வது நபர் ஒருத்தர் வந்து அவனை சரமாரி அடிச்சாரு.
இந்த போலீஸ் அடிக்கிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி அவர் மேல ஏதாச்சும் காயம் இருந்துச்சு? ஏன்னா போலீஸ் வந்து அவரோட ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா அங்க பிடிக்கும் போதே அவரோட பாடியில நிறைய காயம் இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னு.
இல்ல அதெல்லாம் கிடையாது.
இல்ல ஒரு காயம் இல்ல, அவர் பெர்ஃபெக்ட்டா இருந்தாரு.
பெர்ஃபெக்ட்டா நார்மலா தான் இருந்தாரு.
What's really diabolical, viewers, is that the family has also spoken to Times Now, spoke to Shilpa. And you know what the family said, viewers? The family said that the police actually threw money at them money at them to hush this entire matter up. Now, first, listen to this family that is grieving and hoping that justice will be done. Luckily, viewers, Times Now has been able to access this footage. Otherwise, this case would have been shut. Now, watch and hear, listen to the family.
எப்படி இறந்ததுங்கிறதுக்கு அச்சி தாண்டா சாவ வச்சோம்.
அப்படி சொன்னாங்க.
உங்களால என்ன பண்ண முடியும்?
அப்படி
சொன்னாங்க.
மோகன் தான் சொன்னாங்க.
அச்சி தான் சாவ வச்சாங்க. உங்களால என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? உலகா நான் சொல்ற போய் செய்யுங்க. எல்லாம் பணத்தை கூட பார்க்க மாட்டீங்க. எல்லாம் எல்லாரும் உட்கார வச்சு சொன்னாங்க. மேல கேஸ் இருக்கு. நீ அந்த கேஸை வச்சே உன்னை உன் அண்ணனை பார்க்காத அளவுக்கு நான் இது பண்ணிடுவேன். கேஸை இப்படியே முடிச்சிடுவேன். என்னது பிக்ஸு அவனுக்கு வந்ததே இல்லை இது வரைக்கும். அவனுக்கு பிக்ஸே வராது. என்ன விக்ஸையும் பிராந்தியம் ஒன்றா குடித்தா பிக்ஸு வரும். அப்படி தான் அண்ணன் குடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கான். அவன் குடிக்கவே மாட்டான் அந்த அளவுக்கு. குடிக்கிற பழக்கமே இல்லைன்ட்டு நாங்கள் சொல்லவும் நீ என்னடா ரூல்ஸ்லாம் பேசுகிற இந்தியனை கட்ட வார்த்தையில் திட்டினாங்க. திட்டிட்டு நீங்கள் சைலண்டாக இருந்தால் தான் உங்களை உங்கள் அண்ணன் மூஞ்ச பார்க்க முடியும்.
Viewers, money, bribery, that allegation, let's play that allegation out.
எப்படி இறந்ததுங்கிறதுக்கு அச்சி தாண்டா சாவ வச்சோம்.
அப்படி சொன்னாங்க.
உங்களால என்ன பண்ண முடியும்?
அப்படி
சொன்னாங்க.
மோகன் தான் சொன்னாங்க.
உலகா நான் சொல்ற போய் செய்யுங்க. எல்லாம் பணத்தை கூட பார்க்க மாட்டீங்க. எல்லாம் எல்லாரும் உட்கார வச்சு சொன்னாங்க. மேல கேஸ் இருக்கு. நீ அந்த கேஸை வச்சே உன்னை உன் அண்ணனை பார்க்காத அளவுக்கு நான் இது பண்ணிடுவேன். கேஸை இப்படியே முடிச்சிடுவேன். என்னது பிக்ஸு அவனுக்கு வந்ததே இல்லை இது வரைக்கும். அவனுக்கு பிக்ஸே வராது. என்ன விக்ஸையும் பிராந்தியம் ஒன்றா குடித்தா பிக்ஸு வரும். அப்படி தான் அவன் அண்ணன் குடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கான். அவன் குடிக்கவே மாட்டான் அந்த அளவுக்கு. குடிக்கிற பழக்கமே இல்லைன்ட்டு நாங்கள் சொல்லவும் நீ என்னடா ரூல்ஸ்லாம் பேசுகிற இந்தியனை கட்ட வார்த்தையில் திட்டினாங்க. திட்டிட்டு நீங்கள் சைலண்டாக இருந்தால் தான் உங்களை உங்கள் அண்ணன் மூஞ்ச பார்க்க முடியும்.
Let's just listen to that bite, viewers, where they're making the claim that money was actually paid to them. I'm sorry we got confused here in the PCR with the right bite. Here, they have the cash in their hands. It's a poor family. They said this was the cash that was given to us. Let's play it.
எவ்வளவு காசு கொடுத்தாங்க? 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் கொடுத்தாங்க. ஸ்டேஷன்லயே கொடுத்துக்கறாங்க. முன்னாடியே கொடுத்துக்கறாங்க இவங்க கையில. முன்னாலே கொடுத்துக்கறாங்க. அது எதுக்காக கொடுத்தாங்கன்னு தெரியாதுமா எங்களுக்கு. கொடுத்தாங்க செலவுக்கு வச்சுக்கோங்க சாவெல்லாம் எடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லி கொடுத்தாங்க. 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் கொடுத்துக்கறாங்க. எங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. இது நாங்கள் சாவெல்லாம் போச்சுட்டு எதுவுமே நாங்கள் பேசலை வந்துட்டோம். மூஞ்ச கூட சரியா நாங்கள் பார்க்கலம்மா. குழந்தை மூஞ்ச அப்படியே போச்சுட்டாங்க பார்த்துட்டோம். ஆனால் கொளுத்துவே நாங்கள் வேற மயிலாப்பூர் ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு எடுத்து சுடுகாட்டுக்கு எடுத்துன்னு போகிறேன். நான் ஒத்துக்கலை. நானும் ஒத்துக்கலை. எங்கள் அண்ணன் பையனும் ஒத்துக்கலை. இவன் சொன்னேன் அப்படி எரிக்கணும்னு சொன்னாங்க. அவங்க உடம்பு சரியில்லாத சீக்காரு. என்ன சீக்கு நல்லா அந்த பையன் எப்படி சீக்காயிட்டான். அதனால நாங்கள் எரிக்க விட மாட்டோம். எங்களுதுல எரிக்க மாட்டோம். எங்களுதுல வந்து கிருஷ்ணாம்பேட்டை சுடுகாட்டில் தான் நாங்கள் வைப்போம்.
Okay, let me now go straight across to Shilpa. Shilpa, so much evidence unearthed by Times Now. What's been the action taken, if any, against these policemen? Suspensions, beyond that, anything more?
Well, Rahul, it's quite disappointing to see the way in which the DMK government has reacted to this entire issue, because DMK was at the forefront of protests when the Sathankulam custodial deaths happened, the deaths of father-son duo Jayaraj and Benix. When those custodial deaths happened, DMK took to the streets. They issued statements after statement. They demanded a CBI probe. All of that, you know, they were at the forefront of that entire issue. And one would have thought and one would have expected that when something like this happens under their watch, the DMK would have been prompt in taking action. But what has happened so far? The case has been transferred to the CBCID and 3 cops have been suspended. That is it. Even today, several days after this crime has taken place, no FIR has been registered against the erring cops and no arrest has been made in this case. And that is something that the activists are also pointing out, because the longer these police officials are out, the more they can destroy evidences, the more they can influence witnesses, and that of course is extremely concerning as far as this case is concerned. And the opposition parties here of course say the free and fair probe is a need of the hour, and the DMK government has been giving a very long rope to the Chennai police as far as this case is concerned, because evidence after evidence is tumbling out to suggest that Vignesh was indeed a victim of police brutality.
It appears
but
so.
The DMK
It appears so. Strong indications on the back of all of this, viewers. It appears so. Shilpa, stay on with me. I want to go across to see Rajashekharan, Narayan Tirupati. Mr. Rajashekharan, you have seen the footage Times Now has put out. We accessed it. Shilpa accessed it. She's brought it out. She's put it out. It completely belies the narrative that has been put out by the police so far, that we didn't lift a finger to harm Vignesh. That lie has been exposed. The same government, the same Mr. Stalin, when he was in the opposition, leader of the opposition, in the Felix and Benix case, what did he say? He said that justice must be done and must also be seen to be done. The police officials who tortured Felix and Benix must be sent to jail. What is he doing today? He's reneging on his promise. See Rajashekharan, when he's in power.
Rahul, say, I'm not supporting any wrongdoings or criminality of police. But fact of the matter is, the Chief Minister MK Stalin, on record, on the floor of the House, has said justice will be done to the family of Vignesh, the deceased.
Now, how is it being done? Mr. Rajashekharan, don't go by empty words. Those words were spoken by the previous Chief Minister also.
Yeah, I'll tell you. The policemen involved in this offence, this unfortunate incident, have been suspended, and the CBCID has taken over the case. And definitely,
sir,
I have my
when the police themselves. No, hang on. The CBCID. Okay, let me bring in Shilpa. Shilpa, let me ask you this. Mr. Rajashekharan says, please don't try muddying waters. The CBCID has taken over the case. What's your problem? Shilpa.
Well, Rahul, on Wednesday, the family members of Vignesh, through their lawyer, had approached the judicial magistrate, and they said they want to return the 1 lakh rupee that the police had allegedly paid them to hush up this entire matter. And when the case was taken up for hearing, the judicial magistrate, of course, said, who is the CBCID? Who are these officials? Who is the investigating officer in this case? Because no one has approached me as yet. And that, of course, is shocking, because the case was transferred to the CBCID several days ago. Till today, or till Friday, on the day of the hearing,
Narayan Tirupati,
CBCID officials had not even gotten in touch with the judicial magistrate.
Okay, let me bring in Narayan Tirupati. Narayan Tirupati, you're the spokesperson of the BJP. You've heard Mr. Rajashekharan. A promise has been made on the floor of the House by Chief Minister Stalin. Why are you doubting Chief Minister Stalin's intent? He stood with
we have to note, because in the government has come more than 4 mental answers. The custodial.
Definitely what Mr. Stalin said, we cannot accept. As you rightly said, Mr. Rahul, the same words were spoken by Mr. Edapadi, but what Mr. Stalin said the last year, 2 years back, he said that his government will go. Edapadi said like that. Mr. Edapadi Palaniswamy, the then Chief Minister, ordered for so many, same kind of CBCID inquiry, everything has been ordered. But here, what is happening? The police has gone and they have bribed. What is the action? Today there is in a Tamil channel, they have said that the cop who was suspended was from a control room and not from the investigation team.
Okay, so you're fearing tampering of evidence. You are fearing collusion. You're saying, how will the police investigate the police? That in itself is in denial.
That is why we asked for a CBI inquiry.
Well, I think that's perhaps the way to go here. Some sort of court-monitored probe is required. Anyone standing in the way is colluding. There's no other way of looking at it, viewers. We're talking about human lives here. We're talking about setting precedents here. We're talking about a situation where a family is fighting the odds. Thank you, Shilpa. This is an important disclosure. Takes the story forward. We'll be, of course, on the case to ensure justice is done.